They banned several Arab streamers.
It has nothing to do with those people being Arabic. It has everything to do with them having a tier list that was Arab good to Jew bad.
I should put Frogan in a dunk tank for doing the tier list that was perfectly fine, and everybody understood exactly what the fuck it was.
Really? Because they all had different answers when they got called out for it.
But, you know, what about this person saying this thing about
person saying this about these people? Did you just yada 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 the whole anti-Semitism thing?
I love that. Hasan's wrong narrative that it's just like Islamophobia that got them banned. Like, this is a light riding of that for Ludwig while pretending to be impartial.
You don't have to talk about it if you're too cowardly to explain it, really.
Only pretending to care about anti-Semitism is wild. Like,
you platform terrorists, that's entire movement is about hating Jewish people.
So they were playing a game from a website called Twitch or Terrorist.com. Mostly from other creators by the name of like Sneeko and Myron.
These guys aren't even Twitch streamers, okay?
These people were unbanned on Twitch. Any period of those two being unbanned on Twitch is an insane thing to do. It's not an oversight that they unbanned those two, whose entire core, central narrative right now is to be anti-Semitic and pro-dating children. All right, guys, enough is enough. It's time to get into this. We got a part 2. I mean, we have a lot of scrumptious, delicious drama, political drama, but drama, you know, nonetheless. It's a lot of fun. And after everything's going on, Hasan has decided to officially respond on his YouTube to Ethan, of course, and Ethan's valid criticisms. And the way that he does that is by just creating a conspiracy that Destiny has brainwashed, mind poisoned Ethan into disliking him. Which is incredible. We gotta love it a lot, you know. So that's what we're gonna watch here, and then we're gonna watch Ludwig. Ethan's gonna complain about Ludwig, but I feel like let's do the meat and taters of this situation first. How Destiny's community manipulates Ethan Klein. You know, it's I feel like Hasan's intention here is to try to potentially keep up with Ethan, like create a pathway for Ethan and him to be friends again. But it just comes off as demeaning, right? I mean, he's just robbing Ethan of his agency. He's saying like, "Oh, you don't even know what you're doing. It's all Destiny mind poison fault." So, boom or doom for Hasan right now. I'm gonna give it a doom. All right, enough of that. Let's go.
Bring an urgent concern to your attention regarding an upcoming appearance scheduled with Hasan Piker. It has come to my attention that Hasan Piker is known for promoting anti-Semitic views and expressing support for terrorism-related activities.
Oh,
bro, please get a job, brother. I
mean, this guy has actual terrorists on his stream, though, so it's pretty good, pretty valid criticism.
A job, dog. That's crazy.
Me, when I'm a streamer that sits and we caught him on a stream yesterday. He was just sitting there watching CNN, picking his, going on his phone and picking his fingernails. Who are you telling to get a job? You know, you can say the same thing about me. This isn't a real job. Contrary to what some people might say, this is not a real job. This is a joke. You can't really tell people to get a job, all right?
They have brigading email templates, man. Might be weird to say this, but this makes me feel bad for him, them. I agree. I do too. They'll never believe me when I say this, but yeah, I do. Like, doing this stuff is crazy. You're about to get filled in.
What? Thank you for 5,000 Trey Binder. Baited on a poop chart. What would you say what your poo was like? It's like a Hasan out of 10.
And Philip DeFranco has thrown his hat in the drama ring, it seems.
So let's talk about...
He threw his hat in the drama ring. Philip DeFranco, from what I've typically seen, just covers situations as unbiased and like uninvolved as possible. He's like, here's what happened. I don't even think he gives his opinion on things, and I can appreciate him for that. You know, it's not like he pretends to be unbiased and then really has a take on something. He's pretty much like, hey, here's what happened about a thing. How are you going to go after the most wholesome... one of the most wholesome content creators, Mr. Philip J. Fry? I don't understand it. Whatever.
Ethan Klein and Hasan Piker. They're both big creators in the streaming and podcast space. They're former co-hosts. You know, with this specific situation, it starts and is mainly focused on Ethan Klein, who's facing backlash again. And this time, it was over a game that he played on his podcast yesterday.
Today, my friend...
yeah, this is the Twitch or Terrorist, right? You guys wanted me to play that, but I was just like, you know what? That's a little much for me personally. It's a little too crazy.
We are going to play the exciting game here. You at home, play along. We're going to play. Is it Twitch or is it a terrorist?
I wonder how Ethan Screw really feels about this, because they kind of have to talk about this stuff, because, you know, this is what Ethan wants to talk about, and he's the boss ultimately. But it's just making them. It's really, I feel like, just driving a wedge more and more. I'm here for it. I've decided that I've decided it's just a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun, you know.
Let's take a look here, guys.
Ethan is a fun type of petty, I'll tell you. He's real petty. It's so fun.
You know, there's more to the game, but even just that part right there alone, that faced tons of backlash. Or with a number of people think that it was wrong that the opening image was a side-by-side of Hasan Piker and Osama bin Laden. And
Well, then he probably shouldn't be platforming literal terrorists. That's like their whole thing is we don't like Jews. There's a difference between saying like, hey, you know, some terrorist organizations exist because of like some kind of Western interference. There's a nice, you know, nuanced conversation we can have there versus just like LOL laughing while you have a Houthi terrorist on, who like captures prisoners. And then when, you know, when terrorist propaganda is on, like if you play terrorist propagandist music on your stream and you laugh at it saying these are some real good guys, like, I mean, there's a total difference. Clearly he's not interested in having an intelligent conversation. He just he hates the West so much that he'll get on his knees for anything anti-West. Okay. That's literally it.
in fact, at a later point in the game, you had someone from H3's team, AB, even calling that out.
I don't know who made this, but yeah, I'm not a fan of the Hasan and Osama on the front page. They need
At least if they're going to compare them, I mean, I'll guess.
And so with all this, it appears that they were playing a game from a website called Twitch or Terrorist.com. And to play, you had to read quotes and guess if a Twitch streamer or a terrorist said it. And they all ended up being Twitch streamer quotes, mostly from other creators by the name of like Sneeko and Myron, who've been heavily criticized for
They're not even, for the record, these guys aren't even Twitch streamers, okay? And yet.
Well, okay, it's just for the record, these people were unbanned on Twitch for a period. Any period of those two being unbanned on Twitch is an insane thing to do. You can't keep Destiny banned on Twitch, but unban Sneeko and Myron, who are on an anti-Semitic, pedophilic tirade talking about how 20-year-olds and 12-year-olds should get married. So, yeah, I think it's justifiable to say that they're part of the Twitch or terrorist thing. It's not an oversight that they unbanned those two, whose entire core, central narrative right now is to be anti-Semitic and pro-dating children. It's insane.
Yes, it is insane to just like put actual anti-Semites alongside people who are not anti-Semitic.
You are anti-Semitic. You're running defense for your friends doing a Arab to Jewish tier list. That's literally it. I mean, that's how far that we've gone. You're putting actual anti-Jew terrorists on your stream. You're anti-Semitic. It doesn't like that's it. That's just what it boils down to.
But pro-Palestinian in an effort to be like, see, they're all terrorists. Look at all these guys. I didn't expect you to cover this. I wouldn't have, but Philly D is covering it.
Anti-Semitism in the past for posts like these, which made its way into the game. It also included one post each from Hasan and Frogan, who's another creator Ethan's called out and feuded with in the
Yeah, we call it Frogan the Tank Engine because she kind of looks, you know what I mean? I don't think she's bad looking. She just has an evil soul. You know what I mean? Evil soul.
past. But again, most ended up being from creators Sneeko and Myron, so he ended up closing the game by saying,
You're right, that game sucks.
It was just not enough variety. It didn't prove anything because all the anti-Semites was just like Myron and Sneeko.
And so all that happens, but then once the clips...
I can't believe that they couldn't find anti-Semitic quotes of me. Perhaps because I'm not an anti-Semite.
You are.
Why doesn't this have more quotes of Hasan being anti-Semitic?
Of Ethan playing the game make their way to Twitter, there was backlash everywhere. With a number of people saying things like Ethan Klein comparing a Muslim anti-war content creator to Osama bin Laden. He got other Muslim and Jewish content creators banned for calling Sabra hummus the lowest tier commercial hummus because a lot of Israelis eat it.
I love this. I love how it's like Ethan got these people banned because no, Ethan didn't really get them banned. He spearheaded a campaign to call out Twitch for being accepting of anti-Semitism, and then advertisers saw that and went, this isn't something that we want to put our money on. Ethan didn't do anything. Let's just be absolutely clear here.
The actual hell, as well as Islamophobia on full display. And if Ethan Klein actually cared about anti-Semitism instead of merely feeling disrespected...
Noah Colwyn? Whoa! I gotta text my mans. Be like, yo, you made it, Noah. You made it on the Philly D. If Ethan Klein actually cared about anti-Semitism instead of merely feeling disrespected, he would consider what it means to represent Jewish people by being a non-stop whiny bigot.
He would consider what it means to...
I don't even know what he said. I don't understand.
Represent Jewish people by being a non-stop whiny bigot. Even had some tagging YouTube social accounts to say that they're platforming racism and hate.
Oh, stop. Enough is enough. Ethan's take on Israel-Palestine is so boring and so right that it's insane. His whole take is Israel has the right to exist, but they don't have the right to engage in an endless genocidal war, and he disavows Netanyahu. That's the most normal, lukewarm take, and Hasan and his community want to pretend that that's not right. Hasan wants to pretend that that's not a correct take. It is the correct take. That's literally all. That's where we're at. It is the correct take. It's the take to have. I don't know what else to tell you. We want to pretend otherwise, but that's literally all it is.
And we even saw Hasan Piker himself responding, saying, my former podcast co-host misunderstood me when I said in America that anti-Semitism is institutionally unacceptable, but Islamophobia is permitted if not encouraged. Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like I feel like it's obviously much more acceptable right now to be anti-Semitic. There's like a whole thing where like Harvard was justifying anti-Semitism. Get the fuck out of here. Like, anti-Semitism is on a massive rise. It's not like something that nobody, oh, we don't stand up for that. Everybody does. People, like far right people and far left people, hate Jews. What are you talking about? It's just the reality of the world.
Yesterday, he proved my point. While that received a lot of support, you also had some people responding to Hasan.
Yeah. How is this Islamophobic? Hasan and his friends repeat terrorist talking points. It has nothing to do with Islam. Hasan, the
Yes, you have, yes, that's true.
game is funny. All you and your friends' talking points are indistinguishable for actual terrorists. In what way can you say Islamophobia is permitted unless you believe all Muslims are terrorists? These are literally 2003. We're back in 2003. Please, I need you to see one of the terrorist quotes. Please, you'll never guess who it is. The truth is that after several decades of neoliberalism, the rich are becoming increasingly richer while the poor are both more numerous and increasingly poorer.
What? Dude, what is happening?
Anyway, let's continue.
By
Let's just
defending
continue.
Ethan in the
Well, I don't understand what this commentary is.
game and accusing critics of misrepresenting it. But again, there was also a fair share of people echoing what Hasan said, with some also noting that this came after Ethan went on his Instagram stories to call out Hasan and accuse him of only pretending to care about anti-Semitism. And Ethan ended
Yeah, because Hasan doesn't care about anti-Semitism. That's why he platforms terrorists.
up responding to
Which is crazy, by the way. Like, that was also crazy. Only pretending to care about anti-Semitism is wild. Like,
You platform terrorists. That's entire movement is about hating Jewish people. But okay.
I've stood by this man side by side, and we've dunked on anti-Semites together. You know what I mean? And anti-Semitism together. Like, what the fuck is going on? Read his post is psychotic. I haven't even read it.
You stood by this guy? I'm sorry. Wasn't your community on Reddit and Discord relentlessly attacking Ethan, and instead of banning those people from there or temporary or otherwise, you're like, there's nothing I can do. They feel like you're being a mean guy, but I know you're not. You didn't stand by anything. You used Ethan to stay relevant. And frankly, if Ethan hadn't platformed you, you would have fallen off pretty significantly. And now you're able to turn it around because you were on the Leftovers podcast where you just showed up and Ethan did everything. And now you're just turning it around on him, and you don't care because you don't need him right now. You don't need him anymore. That's why the podcast really ended, because Hasan doesn't have any friendship loyalties. It's because he feels like he doesn't need Ethan anymore, so he didn't feel the need to protect him. He doesn't care. That's literally all. What is he talking about?
Any of this shit. Myron is an easy dunk. He makes it incredibly easy to virtue signal that you are against anti-Semitism. If Hasan cared about anti-Semitism, he would listen to his Jewish friend when he expressed his genuine concern for anti-Semitism festering in his own community.
True.
First of all, friend is wild. That's a wild thing to just drop in there after like a month of crash out post after crash out post demanding that an adpocalypse happen on
Yeah, you guys were friends until you broke it by being a fucking scumbag coward.
Twitch, because Twitch is housing Klansmen and Nazis, and that I am like a anti-Semite. That's wild to be like, oh, but I'm just your friend, your Jewish friend, which is also additionally crazy considering that he was talking about before you decided not to stick up for your friend. What are you talking about? I have a ton of Jewish friends. None of them agree with Ethan. What the fuck? That's insane. And we literally insta-ban anti-Semitism in this community.
No, you don't.
Like, I personally do it regularly. If
Whoa!
I cared about
How do you have the time, man? You're always working so hard.
anti-Semitism, you stop purity testing every Jew based on Zionist, anti-Zionist, a term that has lost all meaning. 90% of Jews globally would be considered a Zionist, a term that encapsulates both religious supremacists who believe they have a mandate from God to settle in the West Bank, and every secular Reform Jew in the world who thinks Israel should continue to exist.
There's nothing wrong with Israel existing. What?
I do not purity test every Jew based on Zionist, anti-Zionist. That is insane. I've not only never done that, I don't know why the fuck he's even saying that I do that. What the fuck? And for the record,
Because Ethan's entire take is Israel has the right to exist. That's literally it. And that's too much for you. That's literally it. His entire take is Israel has the right to exist, and you're like, I don't really think so. You even believe in a one-state solution, which would never work, and it wouldn't bring any peace. You have no interest in like actually having a conversation about how to even end anything going on. Like you don't think Israel should exist very clearly. Thank you for $5 from Gelato GG. Yeah, Islamophobia still exists, but only from the far right. Anti-Semitism is very universal across the spectrum. Islamophobia kind of made it. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Yes, anti-Semitism acceptable from the left and the right. Islamophobia is really only acceptable on the right. That's absolutely true. 100%.
Zionism has not lost its meaning. If it did, I don't know why you would say that like 90% of Jews globally are considered Zionists, which I also disagree with.
Because you use Zionism as a slur. That's it. When Zionism is just like, hey, we have the right to exist. That's literally it.
Well, if Hasan cared about anti-Semitism, he would not hand wave away blatant Jew hatred from his friend Frogan. He would, yeah, I know, I should.
They had a whole tier list that was like Arab is good and Jews bad. So like, yes, you would disavow that.
I should put Frogan in a dunk tank for doing the tier list that Raffi and themselves like put on the Arabs podcast.
Yes, that's anti-Semitic.
That was perfectly fine, and everybody understood exactly what the fuck it was. Hasan cared about
Really? Because they all had different answers when they got called out for it. So it seems like they didn't understand what was going on.
blatant Jew hatred from his actual friend Frogan, who would not play.
This guy's he's so dishonest.
uncritically a terrorist-affiliated militant who flags a curse upon the Jews, nor would he play Houthi propaganda uncritically to his audience who fly the same flag. He would not call... You know what's really funny? I've talked about the Houthis...
I can almost guarantee this is about to not be funny.
Banner multiple times, which is like another part of this process that is, of course, always not repeated. But regardless, let's continue.
What do you mean? You talking about it all the time has nothing to do with you bringing on a Houthi pirate and jerking him off the entire time. Yeah, I've said the flag's bad, but then you come on and have a nice, funny little laugh with an actual Houthi terrorist and go, well, you know, I said that it was kind of bad, though. Isn't that enough? No, usually you just... It's just so funny because he'll sit here and he'll slam Destiny for talking to Nick Fuentes, right? And platforming him, even though every time Destiny talks to Nick Fuentes, let's be real, he embarrasses the fuck out of him. But then he'll bring on a literal Houthi pirate terrorist and go, no, this actually isn't that bad. It's just like, it's astronomical. It's incredible.
He would not call Hasan Nasrallah a brilliant man or say he has no problem with Hezbollah, a man in his organization that has explicitly called for the genocide of Jews. Hasan, if you cared, you would read this instead of laughing about how crazy I am based on a chatter's brain dead summary of my post. I like that I addressed all of these talking points a million times over, but...
Yeah, he hasn't.
But, you know, yeah, there it is. I read it, and it still sounds...
Hasan, so here's the thing. This is what Hasan does. It's something that people should keep in mind. Hasan generally will address talking points that people come up with scattered at certain times, but with absolutely no conviction. Right? So when the Houthi flag is referenced, that is an anti-Jewish flag that wants Jews to not be here anymore. He goes, yeah, I talked about that. It's kind of bad. But then what do his actions show? Well, they show him bringing on a Houthi terrorist onto his stream and having a funny little LOL laugh with him. So it's like, okay, yeah, it's nice that you talk about these things. It doesn't mean that you talk about them with any conviction. It's like if I sat here and was like, yeah, I really don't like people who are homophobic. And then I had like a really good laugh with somebody who went to jail for killing gay people. It's like, wow. And then when you guys criticized me, I was like, whoa, guys, I actually said that it was a bad thing. Okay, great stuff, man. Cool. I like it. So...
It's crazy. Contextualizing and offering analysis to how certain non-government organizations exist is not a de facto...
This is not what he does. He doesn't have an educated conversation about these things.
Carte blanche defense of the way that they exist or the things that they do. That's it. Ethan literally looks for clips in the Destiny Reddit. Yeah, I know. I like that a lot of Ethan's well-sourced criticisms directly come from the Destiny subreddit that he's like scoured like, straightforwardly. And that is actually causing valid concerns. But considering that the Destiny subreddit is routinely scouring my stream, I'm very familiar with the talking points. So of course, I don't even have to see it to know exactly where these valid concerns are coming from because I've addressed it a million times over. I address it every single day. Well, let's continue.
To call out
No, he doesn't. Get the fuck out of here.
Hasan and accuse him of only pretending to care about anti-Semitism.
Yeah, Myron's the
Ethan
easy
ended
tone.
up responding.
Why is Hasan in a game called Twitch or Terrorist? Because he's accused of supporting terrorism by Ethan. That is the beginning and end of this analysis. There are plenty of quotes on the site from non-Muslims. I didn't make the site. I opened it for like 2 minutes and mostly talked about how dumb it is. We immediately commented on how dumb the Osama versus Hasan comparison is. We, unless you speak of French here, is carrying a lot of the burden. I think it was AB who commented on how bad it was, and you chose to continue, but what do I know? And this game, for the record...
That's a good question, Hasan. I've been trying to figure that out.
...was Islamophobic from the jump. The idea that like all of these pro-Palestinian content creators are like automatically terrorists, like it's ridiculous.
They're not terrorists. They're just anti-Semitic because again, they're sitting here having an Arab to Jew tier list. That's anti-Semitic. Isn't that a crazy? What a hot take.
Ridiculous. Okay, bundling actual anti-Semites like Myron and Sneeko with people like myself.
Yeah, you are.
So very weird. Very weird. And
not really
slapping terrorism as a designation on it. Also very weird. Now, a lot of other content creators on this fucking website, Twitch, you know, the one that is dangerously anti-Semitic according to Ethan.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of content creators, including Asmongold, have played this game. Why didn't I sharp about it then? Because what the fuck am I supposed to do? I can't do anything about it, okay? Islamophobia is completely permitted. It's permissible.
No, it's not. Islamophobia is absolutely less permissible than anti-Semitism. What are you talking about?
That's just the truth. Both bigotries, anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, are unacceptable. They're unacceptable. That's it. And I will never accept it. And I always combat it. And I always have. And I always will. But the way that institute...
I don't even think that he combats Islamophobia. I think, again, it doesn't matter. It's as long as it's anti-West. That's all it is. It's not that he combats Islamophobia. It's that he is so anti-West, even though this is like his favorite country and he grew up being like a Western cum guzzler, that he'll just say the opposite of whatever like a Western figure says. That's literally it. He's just full of shit.
Institutions, organizations, the way they treat Islamophobia versus anti-Semitism is different. Islamophobia is broadly accepted. Now, the reason why it is because in the post 9/11 universe, America had to do a whole bunch of social conditioning to get people primed to go destroy the Middle East. Anyway, I closed out 2 minutes, said the game was done because it just keeps quoting Nico and Myron, which doesn't prove anything. We saw why he quit the game. I don't think it was after 2 minutes. He intentionally quote retweets someone that misrepresents, lies about what's in the video, and even calls me Islamophobic for something I didn't even do. Dude, come on, man. Come on. Like,
who the fuck is he talking to?
Islamophobia stuff is not even new. Like, holy shit. It was always cringe. It was like something that I tried to communicate to him even way back when he was like doing if you're a gay sex worker, you'd get thrown off the roofs in Gaza.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're not very accepting of, women, children, LGBTQ people over there. Like, let's be real. I mean, like, child marriages are a huge problem. That's always abuse. Any arranged marriage is abuse, frankly. So yeah.
So like,
unfortunately, a lot of Middle Eastern countries are not very LGBTQ accepting. It's a conversation that we should have. It's a
Muslim people on the timeline, like, get out of here. Like, this is not like a newfound thing here. Come on.
To all this backlash himself, writing, question, why is Hasan in a game called Twitch a terrorist? Answer, because he is accused of supporting terrorism. That is the beginning and end of this analysis. Arguing that there were plenty of quotes on the site that came from non-Muslims and that he didn't even make the site himself. He only played the game on it for a few minutes. And then also saying Hasan's post about the situation was misleading and saying Hasan was accusing him of being Islamophobic for things he didn't even do.
Well, yeah, because Hasan just says things are Islamophobic as a shield. That's literally it. I don't even think he knows what the word means.
That's the funniest part about it is, like, I don't know who Ethan is going to convince that he's not being Islamophobic when I think,
normal people, absolutely just normal people.
This is not a conversation that has taken that much space in this process, but like, come on, dude. Like, okay. I mean, the community that made that website is Destiny's community, and Destiny is an open Islamophobe. He's like proud of it. He says he is.
Well, yeah, Destiny says that he doesn't like any religion, right? And you could absolutely talk about how that's a problem, because it's to the point where he seems to not like religious people, right? And I disagree with that. But he's consistent in thinking all religions are shit. So just to be clear, I think that's important context.
I am Islamophobic, and I hate Islam. I'm an atheist. Yes, I will make Islamophobic jokes, because I do hate Islam, and I am Islamophobic.
It wasn't Daniel.
Yeah, and then he moves, I'm pretty sure in that same clip, I've seen it before, pretty sure, it might not be in that clip, but I already know the reality, is that he doesn't like any religious people. That's really, yeah, and again, you could say that's problematic, but like, he's consistently anti-religion. I just feel like. So Hasan wants to make it seem like Destiny just doesn't like Islamic people, but Destiny is just like an anti-religious gooner to a fault. So yeah, incredible.
Who made it, but a Destiny Discord, decuck Discord mod sticks sick stuff out there.
Front page. They need a.
What is this?
It was in that clip? Yeah, that's what I thought. Wouldn't doubt it.
Here's some emails, an example template. It's preferred if you deviate from it as much as possible. Subject, urgent concern regarding upcoming appearance with Hasan Piker, and then a whole bunch of emails. Dear CNN, I'm writing to bring an urgent concern to your attention regarding an upcoming appearance scheduled with Hasan Piker. It has come to my attention that Hasan Piker is known for promoting anti-Semitic views and expressing support for terrorism-related activities. Oh, bro, please get a job, brother. Get a job, dog.
Me when it's my job to pick my fingernails on stream all day?
That's crazy. They have brigading email templates, man. They have one for the DNC execs. Oh, yeah. Okay. There was another. Hold on.
There really shouldn't be saying dumbass shit, man. Sorry.
There's another thing. There was that JSTLK guy who was like literally sending fake.
I think that's Dan, right? I got confused about that last segment.
To the DNC. This is probably what they sent to USC too, right? Yeah. 27,000 emails to the USC deans to try to stop me from speaking on campus. The box text is code to spam email. They're using bots. Yeah. Are they even trying to combat anti-Semitism while they accuse you of anti-Semitism? No, they're not combating anti-Semitism. If they were, they would be combating themselves. I like that they...
Ooh, epic anti-Semitism. I don't know what anti-Semitism is coming from Destiny's community.
Also, yeah, these guys claim they're not obsessed with you. They have an entire Discord server dedicated to this. But also, I remember when I was at the DNC, JSTLK...
Well, I guess that you should have treated your friends better there, Hasan, and that's what maybe wouldn't happen to you.
One of Destiny's orbiters was openly admitting that he was sending fake messages and that they...
Like, absolutely. Let's be, like, absolutely real. Like, I doubt that Destiny necessarily cares about Ethan. I can actually guarantee you 0% he cares about Ethan. This is an opportune moment. The two of these guys are obsessed with each other. Hasan and Destiny are obsessed with each other. That doesn't make Destiny wrong, but he definitely doesn't care about Ethan. 100%. So Ethan should probably be a little careful about leaning too far into Destiny's community. You know what I mean? definitely a smart guy. I'm not saying he's not, but you know, this is probably a war you don't necessarily want to get actively a part of. You know what I mean? Like sitting at the sidelines and commenting, I think is that's where I'm at. But actively part of it might be a little much. But Ethan is still correct. You know, so
they concocted specifically to the DNC, and they're like, yeah, I don't give a that it's fake.
Thank you for the $2 from Brandon Cavallero. I really appreciate that, man. That makes me feel so good. Thank you.
Fake? Who cares? Like, just cause some commotion. Oh, here it is.
Cause some commotion. Got him.
This is the one.
Dude, could you imagine? Hold on. Okay. Nobody's watching this, okay? But we need this psyop, okay? I need somebody to go and show, all right? Like text messages with somebody. We need to fake text messages, okay? From a DGGer to the DNC that's just saying like, hey, Hasan Piker was saying this at the DNC, okay? We don't actually need, it doesn't need to be real. Just needs to be convincing fake DMs, okay? Of you DMing somebody.
That doesn't sound like that guy. It sounds like a different person.
DNC. Go to LinkedIn, find somebody who could make decisions, okay? Fake DMs with them, okay? Fake the DMs.
Obviously, you shouldn't be doing that. That's crazy.
You saying, here's the clip of him saying this.
It's like a fucking war of attrition at this point. Jesus Christ.
Shit. All right. Here's the clip of him. No. It's a joke, guys. We don't actually. I'm saying that just to fuck with him, okay?
I could have swore that this guy. Am I thinking of two different people? Is that guy Dan and this Jay Schlick guy not the same person? I'm so fucking confused. I don't care.
Okay, so you fake the DMs. You fake the DMs of you reporting his Israel clip, his rudeness to the hostages, to the DNC, and them saying, "Oh, maybe it's not appropriate. He's here the next day." Okay, and then
that part is true. So
when he's going to leave, also say, "Hey, I'm watching his stream. You didn't take his press credentials away." Okay.
Yeah, this is like shit that had already happened at this point.
I mean, you shouldn't have laughed about Israeli people getting raped. So,
and he was like,
"Oh, they're different people." Oh shit! Oh, that's my bad, dude. I'm not updated on the lore, brothers. I'm thinking two different people. Shit, dude. Shit. Who the fuck is this guy then? You know what? I don't care. I don't give a shit. Okay.
Trying to meme like they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make like fake messages back and forth to have a fun little to take credit for it, basically.
Make it believable. Make it believable. And we'll tweet it out. All right. I'm telling you that this will make him one official new account and one DGG report.
Look at the level of obsession, dude. Why would you want to stream this, dude? It's unbelievable the level of. So they did get you kicked out? No, they didn't. They wanted to take ownership over it, to be like, we did it. We were the ones who got him kicked out or what.
We cucked Hasan.
Whatever.
Reporting it. Well, maybe. Okay. I'm just saying that
this person's username on Kick is Hasan Abi. Like, that's psychotic, man.
We have these things.
That's not really psychotic. It's maybe a little obsessed, but it's funny.
And somebody posts them. You don't even need that. You need you need somebody posting it to what you need. Maybe this is what you mean. Okay, Tom Pinion, ex-girlfriend. Maybe this is what you mean. Is we need somebody. I will retweet this, but it'll be somebody post it in the community and says, look,
bro, this is literally just like maximum stalker. He's taking credit for like his internet troll ISIS. Why are these dudes so weird? Well, just a reminder that this dude straight up said that it was up his real life experiences that he couldn't stop himself from saying the N-word in and around like normal people. They had a long
okay, that seems interesting. Okay,
back and forth about like the ethics of saying the N-word and how it was actually ruining his life because he just kept accidentally having to say it.
Soft A.
Wow, sounds like he's got Tourette's, guys. Hey, I guess he has a disability. I have no idea what's happening with that.
I'll say this.
It's hard to take Hasan's word at face value, but if that's true, that's definitely concerning, dude. But also, I kind of understand those COD lobbies. You know what I mean? I get it. I kind of get it. I'm just kidding.
Soft A when the opportunity arises.
Kidding. I'm like half kidding. Okay, I get angry sometimes. I don't say that word, but that's why I don't play angry video games. Because if I do, I'll just start I'll start cursing to myself. I can't help it. It's not good. I don't say it to people in public. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not like that big of a fan of the word. But sometimes you're getting you're losing in a video game, and you just get so fucking pissed, dude.
Probably enough that it's like getting concerning for my real life. I had this.
Can I go back on the Destiny N-word lore? Isn't the Destiny N-word lore like, oh, you shouldn't say it in public, but who cares if you say it in private? Isn't that the lore or something like that? I don't know 100%.
Happened to me in college actually, where like I played video games a lot, and I would use the soft A then, and then it happened when I was like in a computer lab one night doing homework at like 3 a.m. I was talking to my buddy. I said something with a soft A, and he was not expecting it. Okay, his eyes perked right up.
Yeah, you should probably stay away from that, brother. You should probably stay away from that soft A.
He was like falling asleep, and he was like, "Holy shit! I got Hasan kicked out from the DNC." Okay, and then I'll retweet it and I'll say, "Holy shit, this is hilarious." Okay, I'm telling you, it'll be, it will be very funny. Think Tom will cover this? Which Tom? Turkey Tom? Maybe?
I do get mad when I'm playing Kingdom Hearts. That's true, and I don't say any slurs. I'm getting better. It's called exposure therapy. Okay.
Hey, Turkey Tom.
Yeah, they have like all of their orbiters too that are like in the YouTube commentary sphere that are Keemstar aligned that will just like lap up.
Keemstar lied. Listen, I don't really stay up to date on the Keemstar lore because I really do not like him, but I'm pretty sure Turkey Tom and Keemstar are not like friends. You know, they call it like I have enough of understanding of that. Not that they're sworn enemies, but like I don't think that they're aligned. I don't know that anybody is aligned with him. Like, kind of retired. Not a lot going on there. I think this is just we can't say Zionist now, so now everything is Keemstar. You know what I mean? It's the new slur. Oh, it's Keemstar aligned. You know,
up any kind of like anti-Hasan and cover it with the utmost sincerity. Like this is the most important thing that has happened.
I think he was covering some other Hasan stuff on Twitter. I need to start using Twitter again. I haven't been using it enough. But I'm just telling you that this would be so funny. You still want the clip of Hasan fighting with a...
Did they have a podcast together? No, I think that he was on that podcast. Not like they didn't have it together.
I do, yes. So I will watch that in a second. Sorry, I forgot. This is my true passion in life, is just A-logging Hasan being unhinged, okay?
All right, well, you know what? At least he's honest about it. You got to give him that, I guess.
I wasn't sure I wanted to... Listen, I get a little sad streaming sometimes. I'm like, why am I doing this? And then we get to watch some Hasan content, and
Yeah, I feel that. That's what, you know, I like covering this. Sometimes it gets a little too much, and then it's like, well, it's got to get something else going on. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too involved in it. I'm a casual observer. I don't want to get too involved.
remember that this is my passion, okay?
Wow.
I'm telling you right now, brother, when I say this shit is insane, okay? When I say this shit is like legit.
I mean, like it is when you look at it from an outside perspective, but it's not like it's just Hasan belongs to the same thing. Again, he let people that are part of his community relentlessly harass Ethan. Like it's the same behavior. All of this is the same behavior. Like it's not like he's any better and his community doesn't do it. He's not as active about doing it himself, but like he doesn't give a fuck if people do this in his community. He's sitting here pretending that he's like a superior. This is really the same way your community interacts. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm gonna pretend like it's not.
Legitimately sad. This is what I mean.
You still want the clip of Hasan fighting with a pro? I do, yes. So I will watch that in a second. Sorry, I forgot. This is my true passion in life, is just A-logging Hasan being unhinged, okay?
What does A-logging mean? I don't even know what that...
I think based on the context, we know that it means that just like constantly fucking talking about you. Yeah.
It means.
I wasn't sure I wanted to... Listen, I get a little sad streaming sometimes. I'm like, why am I doing this? And then we get to watch some Hasan content, and I remember that this is
Just talk to Destiny already, dude. Just come on. Fuck it.
passion, okay?
Is a 4chan term?
I'll click donkey. You know, I'll take that as a compliment. He's a nice looking guy.
This is everything I want in life is right here, right now. All right?
A term used to describe one's expressing disproportionate levels of hatred for someone, often including wishing them physical harm, usually for perceived crimes, in air quotes, that they are guilty, in air quotes, of. The question I have always is like,
oh God, he's being Islamophobic, am I right, guys?
Why would you reveal that? You know what I mean? If like that is your legitimate point of view, why would you ever?
I guess it's just to have a little more credibility than you do, because at least he's being honest.
Reveal that. Like, how hugboxed are you? How echo chambered are you into thinking that like, nah, this is fire. Like I'm going to admit to every single person that's watching right now that I would probably kill myself if it wasn't for the fact that I have a hyper fixation on a content creator who didn't even know I existed until this.
I mean, you're giving him a lot of attention right now, so just let's be clear.
Very moment. From 4chan site, A-logging is a term used to describe the act of overplaying or exaggerating the negative traits of someone lulzy at irrational levels. What's so shocking about this incredibly pathetic display of someone...
He's going off on this one. He's just going to keep going off on this word because he needs to discredit this guy, his existence. He can't really speak about the guy, what the guy's doing necessarily, or rather he can't really disprove a lot of the narratives about himself, so he just has to make it seem like everybody's unhinged. So Destiny's a slur, so Ethan must be Destiny brainwashed. This guy he has to be insane because, you know, he's A-logging, whatever the fuck that means. He's overly focusing on it. It's just narrative digging. I guarantee you in the actual VOD he fucking floundered around for like 10 minutes just babbling like an idiot, and they had to edit it down to give him a coherent looking thought. I guarantee it. It's like, I almost can guarantee it, as he's like floundering around looking for some kind of a narrative to jump onto.
4chan levels. What's so shocking about this incredibly pathetic display of someone voluntarily revealing that they are basically not fully human. You know, they've just lost their humanity in this process, and they're simply an instrument of another content creator's will. What's so crazy about it is that
William,
it has not worked. So I think like in that process, they just get even more angry. That's what's so crazy about it. I feel bad for them too, Chatter. That's not even a joke. I do. Might be weird to say this, but this makes me feel bad for them. I agree. I do too.
Wow, I appreciate the pronouns, man. That made me feel real good.
They'll never believe me when I say this, but yeah, I do. Like doing this stuff is crazy. Here's some recent articles.
There's just so much unnecessary editing and cutting in this video. It's insane.
A congressional letter from Congressman Rushi Torres discussing Hasan Piker's views. If you'd like any additional details, specific information about this content creator's past statements and affiliations, like they're like, oh, we found a new way to relive the glory days of Gamergate is what these guys are doing. What? To be continued. What is this?
Gamergate's cringe. What?
Specific is crazy. Here's some recent articles. A congressional letter from Congressman Rushi Torres discussing Hasan Piker's views. If you'd like any additional details, specific information about this content creator's past statements and affiliations, like they're like, oh, we found a new way to relive the glory days of Gamergate is what these guys are doing.
I love this because I love it because Destiny right now has a literal hard on for Asmongold, who is completely brain warped by like Gamergate type of shit. And he's like, yeah, Destiny and his community are just trying to get back to Gamergate. Destiny thinks that that's cringe. It's just, none of this makes any sense. None of this makes any sense at all.
To be continued.
He's just saying things. He's just trying to rattle off as much as he possibly can.
What is this? Okay, within minutes, folks. I need someone.
What is Gamergate? It's just a bunch of fucking cringe where people obsess about games being too woke. Like sometimes they are, but they take it to a point where it's almost like a conspiracy narrative, rather than nothing more than a bad business choice. Really, actually, not even a bad business choice, because like in general, like DEI nowadays, not back then, but DEI nowadays is because Blizzard got sued for fucking a woman killing herself after being sexually harassed in the workplace. So now they do like inclusivity to make sure shit like that doesn't happen. That's what investors want, because they don't want people to do that, because that's, you know, a little crazy.
To find clips of Hasan discouraging people from voting. This might have some helpful things from the article. Biden shouldn't expect any little support Hasan Piker offered last time. They're probably in here watching right now, by the way. Like a couple thousand of them. Definitely in here. Very excited.
A couple of thousand of them. That's like 10% of your audience is just Destiny hate watchers. That's an interesting self-report.
At the prospect of, you know, getting noticed. And apparently, I guess, like what, Ethan was DMing this guy? I'm sure I could find something about that. I'm not back to digging for stuff.
It makes sense then why he's like letting people farm him so hard, because he just feels like he needs the audience, I guess.
Until Friday. Twitch bans Israel. That's the name in the Discord server. I'm sure I can find something about that. And Chair Stream gotta wait now. Okay, within minutes, folks. I need to find some clips of Hasan discouraging people from voting. Give me what you can. On Wednesday's episode, Ethan reviewed several clips of Hasan's content. Several times throughout the episode, he started texting with someone, and it appears they were sending him links. What the
an influence he had on them, it was to not vote. Could be wrong. And maybe
I haven't heard that from him.
Did Hasan actually try to influence people to not vote? I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah. Dude, I've seen so many clips. I've seen so many clips.
I've
pull
heard
up. Sorry, I'm catching up on.
Sounds like Ethan needs clips of Hasan encouraging people not to vote.
Something.
He's actually saying.
Here, I don't know what that. Pull this video up. I don't know if it's good or not.
It's the Spriggs guy. Ethan Klein was messaging. The Spriggs guy made the logo for that terrorist site. I heard Reddit nerds echoing this talking point. Yeah, I mean, Reddit is endlessly brigadeable. So there's not much you can do, especially if it's like, if you're brigading in a pro-Israel kind of way. Holy shit. Go look at World News, you know what I mean? They use bots to scrape every single message from Twitch chat and Discord. They have guides on their sites on how to download the VODs to scrape the logs and clip out of context. That is...
Oh, wait, so do they have it? Is that what they... That's interesting. But do they actually have the proof that he was encouraging people not to vote?
This is the reason why I originally paywalled the VODs for subscriptions, because I was like, if you're going to do all that, might as well give me some money for it. But
so why didn't you just do that?
A lot of people in my community were like, well, I rely on the VODs to keep up. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it, you know.
Oh, he's such a good guy. Every decision he makes is because he's such a good guy.
I'll take it. It's all good. Maybe it's time to get some restraining orders. There is nothing you can do to cyber harassment. There's nothing you can do about it. There is no apt legislation to stop something like this from happening. Just so you understand, it does not exist. Yeah, they have a Hustler U for basically slandering me. I think it's time for their Discord to get nuked. Yeah, I don't know why Discord allows them to do this kind of insane brigading and harassment campaigns.
I mean, your Discord was doing the same thing to Ethan, so...
I think Ethan realized that the hate D community has for you is so unhinged, so he's afraid to admit using them to further his own campaign. It seems like even Ethan wants to not hurt his credible attacks on you and admit he's using that community to find avenues to attack you. Yeah, well, you know. Yeah, I don't know why Discord allows that kind of shit to fly, but so does...
Well, you know. Nice answer.
It's Reddit, really. Give me what you got if you can.
How the fuck do I use a crowbar on this thing?
From Destiny's community, 2 white millionaires argue, what? Destiny's mods urgently ask for a clip of Hasan discouraging people from voting, 3:55 p.m. Pacific. Someone sends the Destiny mod this post.
I remember Hasan saying how he didn't vote and he can still give election coverage, but I don't know if he told his fans not to vote. Oh, okay. Okay.
Back to the H3 podcast a few minutes later.
Speak of the election or something.
This one's recent. Let's see what this one is. But this.
I like that the crew's like, come on, let's speak of the election, please. And he's like, no, we have to speak on Hasan, who does not vote for sure and tells people not to vote. 3:57 p.m. PST. Look at the copy on the bottom left of the screen.
And all the efforts.
Oh, 2 white millionaires argue that voting. Oh yeah, it's directly from Reddit. Wow, what a crazy coincidence. Surely that didn't happen again, right?
No stone unturned here.
The answer is here. The proof is right here in the pudding, and we're about to taste the pudding. Can you send? I just did another clip.
Okay, with the minutes from the article. Wait, this is the same one. Destiny's mod requests examples of Hasan discouraging people from voting again at 4:06. Okay, within minutes, I need to find some clips of Hasan discouraging people from voting. Someone provides the clips titled, Hasan is asked when he will endorse Kamala. By the way, I'm willing to bet that that's probably a gray name sock account that was also asking that too.
Did he? I'm just wondering, did he endorse Kamala? Because that would have been the right choice, no? To encourage people to vote. I mean, not that he actively discouraged them to vote, but if he's like, I'm not voting and he didn't endorse Kamala, then like, I mean, you can argue that there's some level of blame for his audience not voting. Now, would it have changed the election? Probably not, but I guess. But I wouldn't go. I mean, I don't know if there's any actual context. If anybody has anything they want to show me, I don't know if it's true or not. To be honest with you.
Why you guys look for that?
Fighting for a brighter future may be hard work.
Again, look at the title of the video on the bottom of the screen. Endorsing his ticket. I mean, when I see some momentum on Gaza.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's not him saying don't vote, but like, yeah, that's obviously stupid. That's obviously stupid. I mean, you can. I don't. I mean, it's based on that. Maybe there's more, but you wouldn't say that Hasan. You wouldn't say that Hasan said not to vote for Kamala, but like he's definitely signaling not to. He's signaling like a purist perspective. If it's not exactly what I want, we shouldn't do anything. But that's going to be your best bet, right? So definitely better than Trump, no? Trump's whole thing is going to be supporting Netanyahu 100% with zero flexibility to end the war, just to say that he ended it because it's going to look good for his people, to like for his campaign, even though it's not the right thing to do. It's overly support a fucking maniac. But, you know, good job, Hasan. Good stuff, brother.
By the way, in that clip, you want to know what's funny? I think in that clip, I literally talk about how if Kamala Harris actually changes trajectory on Gaza, I would start my door knocking operation tomorrow. That
yeah, okay.
Very same clip. That
you know that she's not going to have an unhinged like idiot take like yours. She's going to have a more balanced take. So
they're using. It was wild. Ethan kept looking for a video of you encouraging not to vote when it didn't.
He didn't tell people not to vote, but if you're telling your pro-Palestinian audience every day that Harris is pro-genocide and that she's currently bombing Gaza and she's pro-Israel, what do you think? Yeah, no, he definitely discouraged people from voting. Like, you definitely can criticize him for that.
And work, he would try to find another one, 3 different videos. And it's ironic because I think the day prior to that, prior to the election, I quite literally voted on stream. And I have always urged people to vote. Always. Ethan is the kind of guy that if he hates you, he really hates you, and given enough time, he can convince himself to hate anyone and anything. Yeah, look, my point is, I hope that Ethan can, you know, maybe take a step back from this stuff. And it's not because I'm like genuinely fearful that he is exposing my secret anti-Semitism or some shit that he's going to assume I'm saying. I wish him well, just like I wish all of those other haters well. You know what I mean? Including that one guy who's like, my entire life's purpose is to basically, what is it? A-logging Hasan? I want everyone to be healthy. I want everyone to have a good life, okay? Regardless. I guess that's the difference.
Very fun. I love it, guys. He's such a good guy. Oh my God, I'm going to start supporting him.
This even includes Destiny, by the way. Like, I think that he would be an infinitely happier person if he didn't constantly get in his own way. Like, for example, here, I'm going to show you my attitude, and then I'm going to show you his attitude.
I guess my first question is going to be, do you really think Hasan and Mike from PA should kill themselves?
Isn't this a clip from like 5 years ago? I've already heard the clip. It's definitely unhinged, and he shouldn't have made this statement. But Hasan acting like he's not real. I mean, Hasan is, I would say, just as or almost as unhinged as Destiny. He's been trying not to be more palatable, but he's fucking unhinged.
I wish they would. Yes.
Do you think that's at all a harmful statement to make that
yes, I do.
Goes against, I don't know, just objective morality?
No.
Well, Destiny doesn't believe objective morality exists. So, yeah.
I think their deaths by suicide would make the world a safer place for more people.
Like, you have a kid, man. You have a child. Like, go take care of your kid. What the this is obviously not good for you.
That is true. That is true. I agree with that. You know, you should live in the same state. But, yeah, I mean... Yeah.
Like, why? Why are you festering in your own anger and resentment and envy? The drama is definitely.
Well, I mean, you are too. I mean, you did like a whole anti-Destiny thing because you didn't want to talk about him, but then like you broke that. I mean, you guys hate each other just as much.
Profitable. I think that
obviously he's resentful of you because you pretended that like you basically. I mean, like you pretended that you started like Twitch politics and you have like a smugness about you. You pretend to be relatable, all those other things. You know,
it's a key point around this stuff for sure.
I mean, Destiny's unhinged. The problem is that like Destiny's actually smart. So people have a level of respect for him because he's like a decently intelligent guy, whereas Hasan has no value.
But here's the thing. While the drama is profitable, and I'm sure Asmongold is going to cover what Destiny said here about me and Mike from PA anytime, any day. I'm waiting on it. I'm sure when Asmongold catches wind of this clip, he's going to be very upset. The thing I was trying to say is that while this is, I mean, and I don't give a shit for the record, while this right here might be profitable, it's robbing you of your soul.
I mean, Destiny made that unhinged, I would say partially joke, partial seriousness, and you did the same thing about justifying about like your comments about 9/11, no? Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's the same thing when you say that, like, they deserve 9/11 without nuance on purpose, just to trigger people. Like, it's the same thing as when he says that. Let's be absolutely real, so.
Okay? This level of hatred and toxicity, unironically, and not just for Destiny himself, but for his entire community, is unhealthy. This level of pathological obsession is unhealthy. Straight up. Working so hard to tear someone down may get you money in the short term, but it's corrosive. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Do you lost a debate to Mike on the most basic shit of all time, like 6 years ago, and still holds on to this anger? Yeah. The technique is
Yeah, but who the hell is Mike from PA? He's not even like relevant, so I don't know what they're talking about.
common, okay? If he feels embarrassed or slighted by you and it hurts his like narcissistic ego, he will never let you forgive it.
Narcissistic, baby.
He will never let you forget it, and he will make your life living hell permanently. He will always try to lolcow you and bully you and attack you and use his community, who is willing participants in this process, forever. There's a reason why so many people that have encountered Destiny who aren't still firmly within his orbit, never to get larger than him, mind you, because God forbid, that would be terrifying.
Well, but I'm not understanding. It seems like there's a pattern of people aligning with Destiny and then getting really popular and then deciding that like they no longer want to associate with Destiny. Or like they're not particularly good people. It's not like we're sitting here like, oh yeah, Vosh is a really good guy. Like, you know what I mean? So like, wow.
Are always victim to the same kind of cyber stalking and cyber harassment campaigns. Always looking at why other people are responsible for their favorite internet debate god being perceived as someone who is gross.
Well, just to be clear, like, no, there's good reason to think that Destiny is like gross. Like, there's plenty of things that he said that's like not they're terrible qualities. I would never defend. I don't think Destiny's a good person. I think he's really smart, and I think he's really good for the conversation when he can actually act mature. When he can't act mature, I don't think that he's particularly good. It's one of the things that bothers me about him. But like, people will say that, you know what I mean? But like Hasan, this is really just like the way Hasan acts about people too. I don't know. He acts like he's different. He's just more attractive and has less of a lisp, so he comes off as less gay. That's literally all it is.
It's this kind of shit, man. That's it. It's literally the burning bridge joke for them. They wait for it and hope for it so they can go off and start harassing people. Yeah, it's a community that is entirely built around just like tackling his enemies for him. And it's ironic that like most people don't even touch it. Like most people don't even
That's what you do too, dude.
Even bother to turn Destiny into a lol.
Like literally, what are you talking about? This is the exact same thing. Except your community will actually attack friends. Right? Like his community was sitting here like going after Ethan when you still had the podcast going. At least Destiny doesn't have his community do that. At least he's loyal to his friends, even if he's unhinged. You know, honor amongst thieves, am I right? But Hasan doesn't care. As long as he's completely encapsulated by his community, he doesn't give a fuck.
Cal, when he is a target-rich environment for such an activity, two-time divorce champion, constantly having a hard time keeping up.
True, two-time divorce champion, but like you're 30-something years old and you still haven't been married. I'm not trying to be that guy, but I think that's embarrassing for you as well. Like if you're gonna say it's embarrassing for him to get divorced, and not like live near his kid, like why aren't you married? Why is mommy still making chicken for you at home? Why aren't you married? Why aren't you talking about kids? Like that's also immature, in my opinion. So.
Relationships.
I mean, like you guys are just like the opposite sides of the same fucking coin.
People, because he's so gross, rapacious little.
The only difference is that at least Destiny has an excuse because he grew up poor. You know, and poor people are terrible people. Hasan grew up rich. That's why he's such a good guy. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm being fucking stupid.
Nerd, you know. But the real
Hasan's 2 years younger than Destiny. Okay, Destiny's like fucking 36, so Hasan's like 34. No, how old is Hasan? Somebody give me that. Somebody verify this. He's still old enough to be in like a fucking. Like I don't care. Like he's still old enough where he should probably be in a situation where he's like getting married, right? Starting a family. Okay? I just think that Hasan's probably too selfish to give anybody else attention, so he's not going to do that.
The real reason why most people don't even bother to lolcow him in this way is because they don't even want to deal with the repercussions, drawing the ire of his community. That's it.
Ire.
Why are you projecting so much? Yes.
Not for nothing, but like I would say that most people, like you can criticize Destiny, and most of the time nobody fucking cares. Like not like I've been critical of Destiny before. No one's ever harassed me over it. Now maybe it's because I don't jump on Twitter and desperately beg for attention or something. I don't really know, but like I haven't experienced the full-fledged harassment of the Destiny community just because I've given him a criticism. So I mean, maybe I'm just like wrong, but I feel like it's not as exaggerated or it's not as crazy as Hasan wants to pretend.
Yes, brother, I'm projecting. There's not much else you can do in this process. Like a lot of these dudes, and many of them are in here right now, are straight up delusional. Like they will genuinely repeat the most delusional like they'll be like, oh, you're obsessed. You're obsessed with him.
True.
It's like, come on, brother. Just key search Destiny in my YouTube or my Discord and then key search Hasan.
Yeah, because you don't want to talk about him. That's literally it. But you hate him. You talk about it's a content strategy for you to not talk about him. You are obsessed. He constantly will like he'll indirectly reference him all the time. What do you talk about?
In his, and you will understand who's actually fucking pathologically obsessed with the other person. Well, just did the key search and it's wild how many Hasan vids he has. Yes. You know what's interesting is that Destiny's community was trying this before the Israel shit, and Ethan recognized it and saw how insane it was. Interesting he joined them when they confirmed his own biases. Yeah. I get why D was ignored all the time now on stream. Wild behavior from that community.
Okay.
The craziest part is, despite my best attempts of ignoring and hoping that like he will find some success in his life and move on, he never did. This has been ongoing.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Destiny's a pretty successful guy, no? Like, doesn't he make like a lot of money? What?
For 5 years. And it's hilarious because it leads to Ludwig barely talked about him. His community swarmed him, weird behavior on their part. They hate Ludwig now. And they were...
Well, Ludwig's a coward, loser, pussy. Like, that's the reality. Ludwig is so afraid of saying Hasan in any negative light that he will just like, he just gargles it. Like, he's a pathetic loser.
Trying to debate Ludwig on how their favorite internet debate lords vibes were unparalleled and unmatched. Like, think about that, man. What are you doing? Like, you're trying to debate somebody else on vibes? You didn't even you weren't there. You don't know what his own
I think if it's 5,000 Taco Boy 2002, I mean, he does go to brothels instead of looking for a partner, so I don't think I want to hear about marriage advice. That's true. I mean, Hasan can't exactly give marriage advice.
Personal feelings on the matter are like, that's crazy. Why are you doing that? Yeah.
Well, I mean, Hasan is a debate bro. Oh, well, excuse me, Hasan's not a debate bro. Hasan is like one step away from Red Pill. Hasan is just like the liberal Steven Crowder, and it really is real. Hasan does not care about anything except for being popular and making money and hating the West. Like, that's all it is. I don't think he has any particularly firm political alignment outside of I hate the West. That's all it boils down to. But yeah, no, he's not like a good person. You can listen to people talk, and even if you don't like them, you can acknowledge that like they're trying to be genuine. Like Ethan, I think generally tries to be genuine. I just don't agree with him on stuff. You know what I mean? But like, I don't think Hasan has any level of genuinity at all.
Yeah, Cheeseball Gate. Yeah, or whatever the fuck it was. How the fuck
Cheeseball
are you
Gate?
gonna hate on the human equivalent of a goddamn golden retriever, dude? That's insane to me. Okay,
Ludwig, that's cringe.
Ludwig is like mathematically the least hateable person. That's
Guys, Ludwig will take down anything I tell him to. How could you ever hate a guy who's got your back so hard?
crazy. Like being like, no, I hate him because he's Hasan's boy. Hasan is like mind controlling him.
I mean, yeah, you're fucking like you have his balls in a vice.
And not to mention how we talked about cutie or slime. It's just all toxicity all the way down, you know? Oh,
Cool. All right, cool video, man. My favorite one yet. All right, let's do the next one. It's just Ethan saying, like, talking about Ludwig, which we gotta love it because you know Ludwig, he's just full of Hasan's cum. So
Today's video is about Ludwig, actually, who made a video called What is Happening to Which, in which he explains
in which he refuses to say Hasan's name or Ethan's name for that matter, even though they're probably the two most prominent figures in this situation.
what is going on with the adpocalypse taking place on Twitch right now. In this video, he somehow didn't mention me, Hasan, Israel IP block,
That's true.
or anything. It's like he's so afraid of pissing off the cool kids that they're not going to let him sit at their table anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
The stakes are a little higher, in my opinion, because by misrepresenting what happened, He doesn't help anyone. I mean, he helps Hasan. That's the only person he does, but he sweeps.
Well, yeah, and then he helps himself. At least he feels that way because he gets to stay out of controversy with Hasan because Hasan's community is unhinged, as Destiny's community is. And Hasan likes to pretend that they're not. But they will hate brigade the fuck out of somebody who doesn't fall in line. Okay? So, it's a reality.
This anti-Semitism issue right under the rug to the point where it's like, wow, you really don't care. You really do not care about this at all.
True.
So let's go ahead and watch a sliver of this Mogul Mel and see
Mogul Mel. I love it.
what's going on with Ludwig.
First, we have to talk about why they pulled out.
We gotta love it because you know what? Ethan is currently, whether it's intentional or not, positioning himself to have his own one-on-one commentary channel. So, you know, I don't. Maybe something cuckoo's going on. Maybe something crazy's going on with with his podcast. I don't. You know, you never know. I know there's a lot of animosity, or it seems like there's a lot of tensions going on over there.
Where did the advertisers go? Do they hate Twitch all of a sudden? Well,
where did they go?
The genesis of this, as far as I can tell, is when Asman got banned off of Twitch. Because see, Asman got banned after making some comments about Palestinian people, some very negative comments about Palestinian people. He got banned off of Twitch. And this sort of caused a domino effect where people are like, okay, you ban Asman for saying this thing about Palestinian people, but, you know, what about this person saying this thing about this?
What about this guy? What about this guy what about Hasan saying, what about Hasan supporting Arab good to Jew bad tier lists? What about that? Oh, wait, we can't talk about that. That's my friend. That's my friend, guys.
Just people. And
hey, silence is violence. Am I right, guys? It's terrible stuff.
This person saying this about these people. Did you just yada, 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 the whole anti-Semitism thing to
I love that.
protect your friend Hasan?
Did you just yada, yada, yada? I like that. It reminds me of Chowder and just rada-ing everything. Am I right, guys? Is that relatable? Or is that just really cringe what I said?
How about having a Houthi militant on Twitch mainstream?
No, but you don't understand. Hasan was just trying to he was just trying to focus on the socioeconomic problems of the world with Jaden Smith.
To talk about One Piece. And to glaze up his fucking little Houthi cock.
Holy fuck, Ethan's unhinged right now. I love this.
With a flag.
I love it.
Flapping in the background that says, a curse upon the Jews.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Ludwig, why did you even bother to make this video? You know what I mean?
He's got to fall in line for Hasan Abi.
You don't have to talk about it if you're too cowardly to explain it, really.
Because this is an issue Twitch has been dealing with for years, which is inconsistency in their bans. All right, they have their code of conduct, their terms of service, whatever. They have to ban based off of that, and sometimes it's not upheld consistently. All right, and so this became, you can see October 16th, the day Asman got banned, a very common trend. All right. Oh, you ban Asman. Well, what about when Frogan said this, crazy thing about U.S. soldiers? All right.
Yeah. What about when Frogan was part of a panel that was Jews bad, Arab people good? Which, by the way, they're all good. All of them are amazing. And here's my thing. I've said this theory 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times more because I think it's the most powerful, positive theory ever. Okay. If you can, most of the time, men cause the wars. Right? Guys causing wars. Not that women aren't a factor, but most times guys causing wars. What is the number one thing that can get a man to humanize another group of people? It's beautiful tits. And so what needs to happen, and what really needs to happen is that there needs to be an understanding of that. And what I think that they needs to do is I think that Israel needs to send in thousands of pamphlets of beautiful Israeli women tits. And I think Palestine needs to drop a bunch of pamphlets of beautiful Palestinian tits into my local area. And that they'll be like, you know what? These are people. These are people. And they won't just say these are people. They'll say these are our people. Okay? And it kind of starts from there. And you could probably sit there, and I know people are sitting there like, Papa, you're being stupid, you're being silly, you're making a joke. I'm half joking. Okay? 95% of men are gooners. The other 5% are gay. That's a statistic that I saw somewhere. Don't Google it. Matrix and all that. It's so true. Men are so basic that this is like an effective strategy. This is an effective strategy. It's the truth.
And Twitch got basically controversy after controversy after controversy.
No mention of Hasan. Or me, frankly. Not to suck my own dick here, but I did a whole 3-hour episode.
I tried before, but I have too much stomach and my wiener's too short.
Dedicated and, you know,
and thin.
Meticulous 14 pages.
Looks like a witch's finger. No, I'm just kidding. It's small, but it looks nice. Okay, all right, enough.
Of meticulous
all right, enough gooning.
Thesising about why I thought Hasan was harboring anti-Semitism and all the various examples of it.
Yeah, I agree with that, Ethan.
I thought that was probably a big moment for this all as well, but he doesn't mention any of that.
No.
How can he not mention Hasan? You know, how?
Because he's a fucking coward.
And at first, this was maybe just some like social media stuff. But then there was a concerted effort by people to go straight to the advertisers, all right? Because Twitch wasn't buckling. They weren't like banning other people for their comments based off the social media blow up. They
should have been. Well, they did ban the Fantastic Four. So
they were just kind of holding fast. They banned Asmin. They're like, okay, we're good now. Please leave us alone.
That's, I think, somewhat true. But I think the underlining problem here is that they agree with the creators.
Oh.
Who they're not banning. They agree.
Yeah, they and like most businesses, they're more about money than anything else. But very clearly, they personally agree with Hasan, and they will go farther to protect him and not criticize him because of that.
Agree with Hasan and with Frogan, and it's an ideological decision. Like it's not an unbiased decision to enforce the rules. This is them.
It's not even like a slightly biased decision, right? Because everybody falls to their biases. And I said this before, like if they like Hasan and they give him special treatment, I don't even think that's necessarily a bad thing. That's kind of like the nature of business in general. But they go so far to overly justify his decisions. Like the way that they should be being biased to Hasan is not punishing him as harshly as other people. That's the way that it really should not punishing him at all, right? It's a totally different thing.
Refusing to further other political point of views and identities that they agree with. It's downright corruption. It's horrifically bad.
That did not work. They were not left alone. Not only were they not left alone, their advertisers were not left alone. And this is one of the other genesis I can see.
Jesus. Hey, listen, isn't this a W in Hasan's book? Like W anti-capitalism, dude. W anti-capitalism. Everything should be free. No one should get paid.
Of advertisers now getting involved after the Asmin ban. And here's a tweet that said, made a video of what you can do. It's a long video, so I'll just distill it. But basically, it was email the advertisers that Twitch worked with who were displayed prominently in sections that people viewed as like anti-Semitic and get them involved. Okay? He says, you know, fuck Twitch for making me do this cancel culture, cuck fucks, and bloozer shit. But that is exactly what happened. It was a attempt at creating an adpocalypse.
It's not an attempt to create an adpocalypse. It's an attempt to...
No, it's an attempt to get them to stop justifying anti-Semitism. Even saying that it's an attempt to create an adpocalypse, I mean, it just comes off as a light defense for Hasan.
Hold certain people accountable when the platform downright refuses to and runs ads on like incendiary, psychotic fucking content, right?
Adpocalypse. Attempt very successful. Now, Twitch tried...
I wonder who's editing this for Ethan. He probably just do it himself. He used to edit all the time, no?
To curb this. They tried to appease advertisers and also the Anti-Defamation League, who's getting involved. And they banned several Arab streamers following a Habibi rating ban.
I love that. They banned several Arab streamers. I didn't even catch that. It has nothing to do with those people being Arabic. It has everything to do with them having a tier list that was Arab good to Jew bad. But, you know, they banned several. It's just there's so many little things that like you could look at and be like, this feels like a little bit of a dog whistle. This is Hasan's wrong narrative that it's just like Islamophobia that got them banned. Like this is a light riding of that for Ludwig while pretending to be impartial.
Panel that was at TwitchCon, and you can see the sponsors are in the background of this. This was going viral. I promise you, all of these sponsors got thousands of emails in their inbox after this. And it worked.
This level of anti-Semitism is platformed on a main stage of TwitchCon in front of these sponsors. I mean, what the fuck do you expect, man? Don't blame the people sending emails. Blame fucking Dan Clancy and his team of morons.
True.
That did nothing to shield their ecosystem from this. Especially considering they had so much time to learn from what happened to YouTube. Pure incompetence. I was an...
I love that. You just left that in there.
Others were raising the siren about this event and this segment, which I found offensive and anti-Semitic. And Twitch did nothing for several days as this got worse and worse and worse.
Yep, true. And now people got pissed off because they eventually did something, but it was only because of community outcry.
Once again, Asmongold got banned immediately, rightfully, duly. However, when it comes to Frogan and her friends shitting on Jewish people, shitting on Zionists, right? They need a lot of time to think about it. And
True.
I think, yeah, like when the ADL got involved, that's only when they finally suspended Frogan and all the other people up on the stage. When a sitting congressman started writing letters, posting on Twitter, then they said, okay, we should probably do something about it.
So there's currently in Twitch world a piss match, right? Hasan is blaming Asmongold for the adpocalypse for teaming up with people who he says, and Asmon is
looking at me and blaming me. I want to say you're welcome.
Taking blame himself and probably talking about DEI again for the 100th time, if I had to guess.
Now, well, why do you have to guess? You're the guy reporting on what happened, right? Why?
Yeah, kind of true. Why wouldn't you have confirmed this?
Why we guessing Ludwig? But certainly, Ludwig.
Well, I think it's because he has the Hasan audience, so he could just be lazy. Like, yeah, absolutely. Asmongold is annoyingly anti-woke right now. It's just fucking obnoxious. But you think that you would have looked into it? No, I don't know. It's a minor criticism. It's a minor criticism. But
Ludwig is making a lot of guesses in this video here. And I'm guessing that Hasan's cock must taste pretty good. Hasan, he doesn't use baby wipes. He just calls Ludwig over. Where are we?
I'm a little confused. What would you use baby wipes for? Your penis? I'm just a little confused about that. What that means.
Anyway, Ludwig, cheers and all that. Appreciate you.
The fuck?
But what you don't have to make a video, right? Because at the end of the day, what does this do? It absolves the actual perpetrators of this adpocalypse. It moves the blame over to somebody who wasn't really involved. And by doing this, you ensure that no real change is actually going to come to this platform, right? And this is just going to keep happening because you are so cowardly. You need so desperately to have the cool kid Hasan's approval that you are actually willing to throw the platform. And frankly, if I'm going to be a little over the top, your Jewish community under the bus as well.
Damn, he went there, guys.
Well, without mentioning even
he went there.
He went there. The main issue of this, which is anti-Semitism perpetrated by Hasan and his lemmings, his lackeys.
Wow. Even let's just say based. I don't know what to tell you. Incredible stuff.